A $900 car repair bill might just annoy you, but it could also wreck your entire month. Same bill, same problem, but two completely different financial lives. The strange part is that the difference does not necessarily come down to salary. You can earn more than you did last year, work harder, pay every bill on time, and still not actually become wealthier. Think about a normal payday. The money hits your account and you feel relieved. Then rent, utilities, internet, car insurance, groceries, credit card bills, and loans get paid one after another. Your balance starts dropping. No luxury purchases, no crazy financial decisions. But 2 weeks later, another paycheck arrives and the cycle starts all over again. You do not need a financial disaster to stand still for years. You only need almost every extra dollar you earn to quickly find somewhere else to disappear. Income rises, your lifestyle rises with it, but the distance between you and financial security barely changes. But what really changes your financial situation is often the stuff no one else can see. An unexpected bill no longer immediately turns into debt. An expensive month no longer ruins the plan for the entire year. And if your income is interrupted one day, you still have enough time to think before you have to make your next decision. So what creates that distance? Let's start with that same $900 car repair bill. You walk out to your car one morning, try to start it, and nothing happens. A few hours later, the repair shop calls and says the total will be around $900. If you only have a few $100s left in your checking account and your next paycheck is still more than a week away, your options immediately become difficult. Put the repair on a credit card, delay another bill, borrow money, or keep driving a car that already has a problem. That is why the first layer of financial stability does not necessarily have to be investing. It is cash set aside for emergencies. An emergency fund is not there to generate high returns. Its job is to keep a short-term problem from turning into long-term debt. A car repair, an unexpected medical expense, an urgent trip to see family, or a period without income can all happen without warning. Without cash set aside, you are forced to use future money to solve today's problem. You also do not need to start with an overwhelming goal. $1,000 can be your first layer of protection. Then you can work toward 1 month of essential expenses, then 3 months, and depending on your situation, eventually around 3 to 6 months. What matters more than the starting number is how you build it. If the plan is simply, I'll save whatever is left at the end of the month, there may not be much left at all. A small automatic transfer right after payday may not sound impressive, but a good financial system does not need to be impressive. It just needs to work long enough. As your emergency fund grows, your life on the outside may not look any different. You still drive the same car, live in the same apartment, and still think about prices every week. But one important thing has changed. Small problems no longer turn into crises as easily. Cash helps protect you. But if you want to build wealth, you need something else too. A gap between what you earn and what you spend. This is where a lot of financial advice becomes too simplistic. People often tell you to give up coffee, cancel subscriptions, or stop eating out. Small expenses may be worth reviewing, but if rent takes up a large share of your income, your car payment is high, insurance costs are rising, and you are still carrying high-interest debt, giving up a $5 coffee is not going to fix your financial structure. Look at the big expenses first: housing, transportation, debt, insurance, and food. Then look at the smaller ones. If nearly all of your income already has somewhere to go before the month even begins, you have almost no room left to build wealth. The problem is not necessarily a lack of discipline. It may simply be that your current spending structure leaves no room for your future. One useful approach is to open your last 3 months of transactions and see where your money actually went. You may not find one huge purchase. Instead, You may see very ordinary things: a subscription you barely use, food delivery on nights when you are too tired to cook, coffee on the way to work, a few weekend outings, and things you bought because they were on sale. The goal is not to eliminate all of it. Money also exists to serve your life today. A dinner with someone you love, a trip you planned for, or a hobby that genuinely brings you joy can all be worth it. A better question is, does this expense actually make my life better? Or is it only here because it became a habit? That question matters even more with larger expenses. Imagine your current car is fully paid off. It is not new or impressive, but it is reliable and still does its job well. After a raise, a new SUV with a monthly payment starts to seem reasonable. The usual question is, can I afford this payment every month? But a better question is, how much will this new car improve my life compared with keeping that money for my future? If, over time, you create a $500 monthly surplus, then over 10 years, the amount you deliberately keep adds up to $60,000. If that money is invested consistently for 10 years and earns an assumed average return of around 7% per year over the entire period, the ending value could be around $86,000. This is only an illustration, not a guaranteed return. The important point is that an expense does not only have a price today, it also has an opportunity cost. What that money could become if it were given more time. Once you have created that surplus, the next step is not to find the most exciting investment. What matters more is giving that money a steady job. If your workplace offers a 401k with an employer match, this is a good time to review your plan. The money your employer adds when you meet the requirements can represent meaningful value that you may not have fully taken advantage of before. After that, depending on your goals and circumstances, an IRA or a regular brokerage account can be used for long-term investing. Your portfolio does not have to be complicated either. For many people, diversified, low-cost index funds that fit their time horizon may make more sense than constantly trying to guess which stock will rise over the next few months. What can be hard to accept is that effective investing is often pretty boring. Your paycheck arrives, your contribution gets invested, the market rises and falls, and you keep living your life. Suppose you invest $300 a month for 25 years. Your total actual contributions would be $90,000. If that money earns an assumed average return of around 7% per year over the entire period, the ending value could be around $243,000. The difference comes from time and compound growth. Your returns generate additional returns, and that process keeps repeating. At first, that power is hard to see. But the more time passes and the larger your assets become, the more opportunity compounding has to work. That is why, for most long-term investors, time is often more important than finding the perfect investment. This is also why the sentence, "I'll start investing when I earn more," can easily become a trap. Income rarely rises by itself. When your salary goes up, your apartment may get nicer, your car may get newer, you may eat out more often, and your vacations may get more expensive. None of that is necessarily wrong. But if your entire raise quickly turns into a higher lifestyle, you can earn more without getting much closer to financial freedom. A more balanced approach is to move part of every increase in income towards saving or investing before all of it blends into your new lifestyle. You can still improve your life today, but your future gets a share of that progress too. At this point, another question comes up. How do you know whether you are actually moving forward? A lot of people look at salary, but income only tells you how quickly money is coming in. It does not tell you how much is staying. Someone earning $100,000 a year may have a large mortgage, 2 car payments, credit card balances, and a lifestyle that uses nearly all of their income. Someone else may earn less, but have a paid-off car, carry no credit card balance from month to month, have an emergency fund, and invest consistently for retirement. That person may be in a much stronger financial position. That is why net worth is useful. The formula is simple: what you own minus what you owe. You do not need to track it every day. Once a month or once a quarter is enough for many people. What matters more is looking at the trend over years. One down month in the market does not mean the plan has failed. One strong month does not mean you have won. Wealth usually does not appear as a single moment. It looks more like a line that starts out almost flat, then slowly begins to slope upward. Now go back to the car. A few years later, another problem comes up, and the repair shop once again gives you a bill of around $900. You are still annoyed. No one likes spending $900 on a car. But this time, you do not need to check your credit limit, delay a utility bill, or count the days until your next paycheck. You take the money from your emergency fund, pay the bill, and then rebuild what you used over the following months. The car still broke down. The bill is still $900. What changed is that the crisis disappeared. That may be the hardest part of wealth to see. The most important signs are often not the things other people can notice. It is not necessarily a newer car, a bigger house, or a salary high enough to impress anyone. Sometimes it is simply an emergency fund sitting quietly in a savings account. A paid-off car you do not feel the need to replace. A consistent gap between your income and your lifestyle. Investments that keep going through difficult market months. And a net worth that grows slowly over time. Managing money well does not make life completely predictable. Cars can still break down. A medical bill can still show up. The market can still fall. A company can still cut jobs. What changes is the distance between an unexpected event and a financial crisis. Cash gives you time. The gap between income and spending gives you choices. Investing gives your money time to grow. Net worth tells you whether all of those things are actually moving you forward. None of these steps creates the feeling of getting rich fast. But looking wealthy and building financial freedom are not always the same thing. A new car may make your lifestyle look more expensive. A paid-off car may make your life more flexible. One may make your life look more successful today. The other may give you more choices tomorrow. Wealth does not necessarily mean being able to buy everything you want. Sometimes it simply means being able to face things you never planned for and still keep your life moving. Without panicking. Without borrowing money just to get through the week. Without having to start over after every setback. You rarely build that with one big decision. It usually starts with small choices repeated long enough. Money moved aside after payday. One decision not to upgrade a car that still works. Part of a raise set aside for the future before it becomes another expense. Another month, another year, then many more years. Until what once felt like standing still starts to create distance. And that distance is freedom.